Hello friends! Today we're going to talk about gift ideas for different zodiac signs. Now, if you're here, it means that you're probably a little bit late on your gift purchases this year, and you probably want to look like an adequate person and conform to societal norms and show up with a proper gift for your secret Santa at work or with your family, which is exactly why you're here today. And I'm going to help you choose a gift for that person. Before we dive into this, I'm just going to recommend that you check the natal chart if possible, because everyone usually goes based off the sun sign, which is the sign that we know about ourselves usually, like I am an Aquarius sun. But there is more to the natal chart than just the sun sign. There's also the moon sign, a Venus, a Mars, there is a zodiac sign for every planet on your star chart. If you do have access to the natal chart, I would recommend that you look at the moon sign, because that is our inner being and our inner self. So it might be the best option to base off of when shopping for a gift. But if you only have the sun sign, that's still okay. We still can work with that. So let's go straight ahead and start, shall we? Now, Aries is a cardinal fire sign. Fire signs are very, very passionate people, which is why Aries enjoys being surprised. They enjoy having unexpected things happen to them, and they like a little bit of that spice in their life. So if you are getting them a gift, it's already cool enough that you're going to surprise them with it, and they're going to appreciate it. Fire signs tend to not be very sentimental, especially Aries, because Aries wants a new beginning, new changes, so it doesn't really hold on to the past, and it doesn't really care for that emotion that is associated with the past. They usually have everything they need already, because they are go-getters. If they want something, they're gonna go ahead and get it. So if they need something, chances are they got it. So don't try to necessarily get them something they need, because you are highly likely to fail at that. They are one of those people to whom it's best to give a gift card. A gift card for something that is maybe outdoorsy. Gift card for Aries is really not a bad idea, because they are a sign that likes to go get things by themselves. They like to go ahead and do the things that they want to do. They don't really need anyone to do it for them, so they would appreciate just getting what they want and getting the gift card for it. They are very direct and they're very straightforward people. So if they wanted something, they already told you about it and they already discussed it with you, and you have an idea. So just add a little note to it to make it more surprising for them, as they do enjoy that part of gift giving as well, and you should be good to go. It's hard to miss with them. What I would say to not get an Aries would be little trinkets, little things that are just there to collect dust. They like for things to have a reason to be in their lives. Now, I know that you think I'm going to say get them a basket of flavored popcorn. Edible gifts could be really nice for a Taurus, but if you don't know them very well, then they might be allergic to something and they might not enjoy it as much as they could have. So it is best to stay away from that. What a Taurus would enjoy, however, something that is very beautiful and high quality. So Taurus is a sign that is ruled by Venus. This is a sign that would appreciate a smaller gift on the same budget, but maybe a more luxurious alternative. For example, a high-end candle that has some kind of luxurious infusion of oil. Also, Taurus is an earth sign, so they really like comfort and they like stability. So you can get them things to relax, like socks infused with shea butter, different types of lotions would work as well. Different types of And Taurus is a fixed sign, so it moves in its own pace. It needs time to do what it wants to do. It cannot be pressured very much. Once they have a goal in their vision, then they will not back down from it easily. So this type of people, they usually know very specifically the things that they like. Taurus is a fixed sign, so it moves in its own pace. It needs time to do what it wants to do. It cannot be pressured very much. Once they have a goal in their vision, then they will not back down from it easily. So this type of people, they usually know very specifically the things that they like. They don't often focus on themselves, and a gift that will help them relax at home would be a good gift for Taurus. Getting them a gift that will destabilize them could be a problem, so they might not enjoy a surprise party like an Aries would. They might not enjoy a trip because it will make them feel rushed, and it will make them feel like they cannot go at their own pace, which will bother them. And Taurus people are very, very given people, so they will often be very compassionate towards others and giving towards others and hardworking, because they like to feel like they play a certain role in people's lives. And they are a relationship sign as well because of the planet Venus, which has to do a lot with wanting to seek out our sensuality. And if all else fails, just get them a food basket. If they cannot eat it for themselves, at least they'll be able to share it with somebody else that they love, and that will sure make them happy. Gemini is an air sign, and it is the symbol of communication. So Gemini is the easiest sign to shop for because they have a lot of different hobbies. They will not shut up about them pretty much, so you will definitely know what their hobbies are. They're very youthful and they have this light energy to them. They're playful and they enjoy discovering new things. They're very curious, so it is not very hard to find a gift that they will find interesting. It is likely that the Gemini in your life is always multitasking, is always on the go, is very oriented towards socializing, and so that means that they probably need certain things for their phone, like little gadgets for their phone, maybe a case, earbuds, a charger. You can also get them a portable charger so that they never run out of battery, so they have like a battery pack with them at all times. I'm sure Gemini would really appreciate that. And another thing a Gemini would enjoy would be any opportunity to talk about themselves. So if you know that they like any kind of shows or they have like a geeky side to them, then you can get them a mug or a poster or something that represents their likes, and then people will be able to ask them about it and be able to talk about it, and that is really important for Geminis as well. So they're a mutable sign. They're a sign that is always looking for a change and is ready for the next big change all the time. And so they really enjoy conversing with people and exchanging ideas. They really love doing research and they are always ready for the next thing. They're very knowledgeable about many different topics because they search on these topics so much, and because they love exchanging ideas, it is likely that they've already told you the many things that is in their head, and you'll be able to pick one right out and just give them a gift that has to do with that, and they'll be very happy. So the only thing that a Gemini would probably not really enjoy receiving would be very practical gifts, so like soap and clothing, something that is too primal, because air signs are more in their head, they're more cerebral, and if they receive something that is very practical, they might not really feel like it's a special gift. They will just feel like it's a part of day-to-day life and it's not that special to them. But if it has some logo on it of their favorite band or something like that, then it's going to be fine as well. So like I said, they're easy to shop for, and it's safe to say that you will get something that they would like. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is the closest to the earth, so Cancers tend to be a very close and personal people as well. They always want to get to know you better. They really want answers to their questions. They have a lot of questions. They want to understand how you think, why you think that way. Water signs like to dig into people's emotional state, and they get very affected by other people's emotional state as well. So they are often people who need to stay at home and take the time to re-energize themselves from the exhausting day of talking to people and figuring people out. And because they're so intuitive, they just can't help it but absorb everybody's energy around them. Cancers are a cardinal sign. They begin the summer. Cardinal signs are signs that are very hopeful, they like the new, they want new beginnings. They enjoy trying stuff that they haven't before. So Cancer, although they are sensitive, they're sensitive to their surroundings. They are also very open-minded, and they welcome change a lot because they are a very changeable sign as well, being a water sign. Even though they can be sentimental and it's easy to hurt them on a feeling level, they are still very hopeful about the future and about other people. They believe that people can change. They believe that the situation can change. And it's one of those signs that will always be the last one to give up in a situation. A good gift for a Cancer would be something for their home, something like a beautiful light, twinkly lights, plants, pots, anything like decorative cushions to create a more relaxed atmosphere and a more inviting atmosphere, because they do like spending a lot of time in their home and they value their home. If you work with a Cancer, they are likely to blend very well into their environment because they don't like to stand out strongly to others and attract negative attention to them. So one thing I would say to not get a Cancer sign are clothes, just because they are very picky about how they present themselves to the outside world, and they need to choose their own clothing. They have their own preference, so just stay away from that. But anything for the home is really great option for Cancer. Leos are very vibrant and very energetic, as you would expect a fire sign to be, and their ruling planet is the sun. There's nothing brighter than the sun, so it is understandable that they are quite commanding of people's attention. They have a commanding presence. They're very lively, they're fun to be around. They're also very generous, and it's just good times with Leo. And so you can't actually go wrong gifting a Leo. They will be happy no matter what you give them. They don't feel like they ever need people to give them gifts, so anytime that anybody gives them a gift, they will be happy. They have a desire to be the center of attention and to be noticed. They don't have to be the main event necessarily, but they like to be acknowledged and they like to be appreciated. So if you could find a way to make your Leo feel special by showing them appreciation, that would be a great idea. Leos are leaders, they're a dominant sign as well, and they have a lot of energy to dispense, so they can have a really big circle of acquaintances around them. Fire signs in general usually get what they want for themselves right away. Leo not an exception for that, so it is difficult to find a gift that they will really need. So fire signs would generally like to receive gift cards and money, but if you feel like those things are too cold, I would recommend giving them something from a name brand like a keychain, or something that is smaller but still has like a nicer quality to it and a name brand, because that status symbol is important to them, and without it, it doesn't really feel special. One other thing you can get for your Leo, if you know them a little bit better, maybe if you're a little bit closer to each other, is a Polaroid camera. Or a way to make memories with photos, because they like taking photos of themselves and of their friends and of good moments. They like sharing good moments with their friends. So if you can find a way to encourage that. Also, a great gift for a Leo would be a speaker, because they're always going to some kind of social event. So a portable speaker, you can get some that are not very expensive, and they will probably just bring it with them to a next road trip they're going to, or the next beach party, and they will have an extra speaker to share with their friends. So that would be perfect for a Leo. A bad gift for a Leo would be anything that feels or looks like work. So something for the kitchen, something for the home that will make them feel like they will need to add another thing on their to-do list and doesn't actually feel fun and festive. Virgo is the symbol of awareness and duty. Virgo has the energy of Earth attached to it, which means that they value stability and they value resources above anything else. Virgos are also a mutable sign, which means that they are ready for change, they are very curious, they want to know a lot of things because they are always prepared for that next step. Mutable signs are always ready for change. They symbolize transition. They come at the end of the season, so they are kind of the preparation towards that next step. The anticipation for a change causes a Virgo to want to learn more, because they need to be aware of their surroundings to be able to be self-sufficient and to be resourceful enough. So they're a little bit anxious because they always have a feeling of pressure and a feeling of duty to them, because they're so totally aware of how life actually is and the challenges that are in life. They are optimistic, but they're also very, very realistic. Virgo's ruling planet is Mercury, and the energy of Mercury is symbolized by awareness and communication. So they love to do a lot of research, they love to learn new things, they like to spend their time overanalyzing themselves and others. And what is funny about Virgo is that they do understand humans really well and humanity, and they do understand how flawed humans are because of how aware they are of the world. But even though they forgive humans for the way they are, they're very forgiving and they're very patient with people because they understand the need for patience. They are not patient with themselves, and they would overanalyze themselves. So Virgos can be very hard on themselves. So if you can help them feel better, if it's somebody that you are closer to in your life, you can give them a cleaning service for their home so they can remove something off their to-dos. You can help them with something and pay for something they were already going to get anyway, so they don't feel bad that you're giving them a gift. You can get creative with Virgos and just help them feel less burdened by what they have to do. You can ask them if you can help them with anything, and that will make them really happy as well, and that could give you some ideas to what they might want as a gift. A good idea for a gift for Virgo would be something that helps them learn, that helps them achieve their goals. For example, if you know they're taking certain courses and you can buy their books, or if you can get them a little book in the language that they're trying to learn to take to the next trip. Something like that would be useful for a Virgo because they do like spending their time doing productive things. But on the other hand, a Virgo that works a lot might need to have some rest. And so if you're getting a Virgo a gift, if it's your coworker or a family member, a good idea would be to give them something that will help them relax more. So massage oil or really nice lotions, or an essential oil vaporizer, something that will make them feel relaxed. If you really don't know them and you're really not sure what scents they might like or what they're into, you can just get them tea, a collection of tea, a really nice one. Don't spend a lot of money on the packaging because Virgos are, once again, they're very aware zodiac sign. They don't like to be frivolous with things, with the environment. So don't use a lot of wrapping. Get something that has already a nice look to it. As far as bad gifts go, there's nothing you can get a Virgo that they will not be grateful for. Earth signs are characterized by their suppression of their own needs. They tend to put other people's needs above their own because they understand that life is difficult. A Virgo would be happy with any gift, but do not put them on the spot because they are very humble. And if you just like put them on the spot and give them like a huge gift that they need to take an hour to unwrap and remove all the ribbons from, then they're gonna be self-conscious and they're gonna feel also in their most vulnerable part, like they're not worthy of that attention. So it gets really complicated. So I would say minimal wrapping, give them the gift, you give them a hug, and just don't mention it, because if you even ask them what they want for a holiday, they will tell you don't get me anything. They will get even maybe mad at you for wanting to get them something. So just let them be. And if you do put a lot of wrapping into it, then just tell them what it is. Don't make them like open it and go through the whole anticipation moment, because like I said, they need their space. Venus is also the ruling planet of Libra, and Libra is the sign of relationships and the sign of love, planet of beauty and affection. They appreciate beautiful things very much. Now, even though Libra is really affectionate and really loving, their element is air, and air likes to bounce around between different states of mind. They like to communicate with people. So for Libra, the best way to feel connected to a person is by talking to them and by exchanging ideas and by letting them know how they're doing, and they'll always want to talk to you and always want to be around you. They like to keep things nice and breezy a lot of the time, and they're pretty easygoing people. They're easy to talk to. They're very open and accepting. So it's a easy to get along with sign for sure. Libra is also a cardinal sign, which means that it comes at the beginning of a season, that season being fall or autumn, however you call it. They come right after the good, prosperous time ends. So summer ends and autumn starts. However, it is also a romantic zodiac sign because of planet Venus, so they romanticize that time of the year quite a bit, and they are much more easygoing than the other fellow autumners, Scorpio. And cardinal signs love new beginnings because they're at the start of things. So it's just starting, everything is open and full of opportunities. So they like surprises, like all other cardinal signs tend to like surprises. So you can add a note to your gift. And honestly, for Libras, because they're air sign and they like to be everywhere and they like to be up and down and random, and they're cardinal, which means they like new and they like everything to be exciting, so it's like double excitement. They really like surprises, okay? So I recommend, if you're getting something for a Libra, don't ask them at all. Even if you'll get the wrong thing, it's okay. They will really appreciate the intention and the surprise much more than if you get them something that they actually wanted or needed. And that's kind of what's beautiful about Libras. Keeping all that in mind, I think a really good gift for a Libra would be anything that is a conversation starter, anything that is aesthetically pleasing and a conversation starter would actually be a great combination together. So a beautiful photography book about a place that they would like to visit, or a place they already visited, or you can get them a framed photo, or you can get them art on an object to show other people and talk to them about it. So they would like anything that is a little bit nostalgic and a little bit cultural and a little bit maybe old. If it has a certain value to it, a certain rarity, they like things to be unique. They like things to be entertaining to others and to themselves. So you can also get them a collection of their favorite movies, because they are more sentimental than the normal air sign. They're a little bit more attached to their feelings because of their ruling planet Venus. And so yeah, Libras, one thing to remember, make sure it's a surprise, and make sure that you can justify your gift to them later in a story. Scorpio is a little bit of a difficult zodiac sign to understand, and I think the simplest way to put it is just explaining the planet energies that are ruling Scorpio. So Pluto and Mars are the energies that govern Scorpio. And what that means is that Scorpio is very intense, as they say. Pluto is the planet of obsessions, and Mars is the planet of action and initiation. So the two create Scorpio, which is a very intense and strong-willed sign. It is also a water sign, so it is very sensible to emotions, very aware of emotions, and is always trying to figure out how they feel, how others feel. They are changeable. They can be different depending on the environment that they're put in. So people who are water signs would often be very low-key in workplaces and in social gatherings, because they're always feeling out the room, feeling out everyone, observing everyone, and just, you know, putting the pieces together. So only then will they be comfortable to go ahead and express themselves. And they are not very expressive because they are feeling vulnerable to let people know how they are inside. So they will express themselves, but they need a lot of encouragement. If you are shopping for a Scorpio, then I'm really sorry, because it's not the easiest thing to do. They're kind of hard to figure out, but they always have obsessions. They always have a few key things that they talk about a lot to the people in their lives, and you can find those maybe by looking at what they follow on social media, celebrities they follow, maybe certain trends, and they're probably really into a few things, or 10, you know, like they have a good amount of things that they like to focus on to distract themselves from the sorrows of life. Scorpio is also a fixed sign, so they don't move easily from their ideals. They don't change their values very easily unless they want to, like nobody else can really force them to do that. They come in the middle of autumn, so that is when everything is dead. They are supposed to be quite curious about death and about historical things, and they like the old because they get a little bit curious and nostalgic about it. So if you have a Scorpio that's close to you and you're looking for a gift for them, you could take them to a museum or to some kind of lecture about something that is related to the past, because they're fascinated by that. Sagittarius is a very warm and social sign. If you give them the space, if you talk to them and give them the space to express themselves, they will most likely tell you what they want for their Christmas gift, or will give you a really good idea, because Sagittarius likes to try all kinds of new things. They're likely already trying something new, and they're likely planning a trip somewhere new. So just talking to them a bit will give you an insight into their world and what they might want as a gift. But simply relying on their characteristic in astrology, Sagittarius is a fire sign. So fire signs are very passionate. They like to dispense their energy all across. They have a lot of it, and they just want to express themselves to everyone and socialize, and they're outgoing. So Sagittarius is quite a forceful fire energy. The symbol is the symbol of the arrow, so it's just, you know, straight ahead. Plus, it's a mutable sign, which is a sign that comes at the end of the season. For Sagittarius, it is at the end of fall, and it is ready to start something new. It's ready for change. It's ready to gather information for the next step. So mutable signs, they are communicative, they are curious, they always want to gather information, they want to learn something. And Sagittarius is probably the sign that is the most intense about finding facts and finding information. It is probably because they come at the end of the fall, at the start of the winter, so it is critical that they gather proper information to be able to proceed to the next step, because the winter tends to be much more harsh than the fall. But they're also very optimistic. It is the most optimistic of all zodiac signs. They don't like to sit and cry about something. They don't like to be in sorrow. They don't understand that. So they are happy-go-lucky like most of the time, which is great. And you can't go wrong giving them a gift. Fire signs in general, you can't go wrong giving them anything, because they're just going to be happy about it no matter what. Sagittarius would be very happy with an experimental gift, like if you give them classes to rock climbing or classes to some other interesting thing that they've never tried before. They would be okay to do that. They would be comfortable doing that, unlike some other zodiac signs that don't like to step out of that comfort zone. Fire signs are also known to be less sentimental than the other elements. So a sentimental gift, they will not really understand it. They don't really get overthinking emotions. They don't like overthinking anything. So don't try to give them something that has a backstory and that will just collect dust on their shelf, because they will just not care for it and they will likely discard it. You should get them an experience, would be a safer bet for Sagittarius. Or you can just get them something that accommodates their hobbies or their projects, because they always start like 5 different projects at the same time. So just talk to them a little bit and they're likely to tell you about them voluntarily. Their ruling sign is Jupiter, and that is a sign that symbolizes idealism and optimism. So once again, they are optimistic, they're positive, and they don't let anything get them down. Also, Sagittarius is very blunt and honest, so if they tell you something, it is likely to be true. If they asked you for something already, it is likely that they really mean that and they really want it, and it's not just a clue for something else, because they don't like going around the truth. They're a very direct sign. And this is a sign that you cannot really mess up with your gifts. I would just recommend to stay away from anything too sentimental. The planet Saturn is the ruler for the zodiac Capricorn. So the Saturn energy is very disciplined, it's very restrictive, it likes rules, it likes structure, and Capricorns are like that. They're very much like Saturn in that way. If you work with them, you will notice that Capricorns keep to themselves, they're very quiet, They just do their job, and they do their job really well. They do appreciate their job, no matter how small or big it is. They take a lot of pride in it, and they like to work hard. They like to get what they want, and it usually takes them some time. And because of that, they tend to be a little bit resentful of people who have it easy, who make fun of things, who don't take things very seriously because of how much work they put. They don't understand why people wouldn't do the same. Because honestly, if we had like 20 Capricorns for every other zodiac sign, we would be fine in this world. Capricorns value excellence. They value people who strive to push forward. It is a cardinal sign. It marks the beginning of winter, and that is the time where resources are really gone, and it is the time when things are starting to get hard, and there's no time for goofing around and for not doing what you're supposed to do, because if you don't do your job properly, you might die of starvation. They tend to follow the rules, and they tend to not step out of their comfort zone very often. Something that is more sentimental would be better than something that is more extravagant, because they don't see the need for those types of things in life. They just want to get in and get out. Capricorns lack appreciation in their life. People don't really see how much work they actually put into the things they do every day. So if you give them a gift and add a little note of appreciation in there and tell them that they do a great job and how they affected your environment in a positive way, and just show them that they know what they're doing, they will really be happy, because like I said, they lack that. They need that in their lives. I would suggest for a Capricorn that you don't know very well, get them a notebook, a nice notebook with a pen. You can't really go wrong. They are an earth sign, so they do like practicality, they do like stability. So if you get them something that they will never use, they will thank you, but they will not really appreciate it. So a notebook they will use for sure for something, one of their to-do lists, one of their big plans for the future. They like to plan 25 years ahead. So that would be a good gift for someone you don't know. Now, if it's somebody you do know, generally Capricorns have hobbies that they like in their life. They will not share it with strangers, but if you know them a bit better, they will tell you about their hobbies, and then it'll be very easy for you to get them a gift, because they say specifically what they want. It is a dominant sign, so they will go get what they want usually as well. So if you want to get them a certificate to a maybe a spiritual shop. Capricorns are often very spiritual. They would appreciate that. And whatever you get them, just get them in black, and they're gonna be happy and they're gonna love you. Aquarius is an air sign. It is the last air sign on the calendar of the zodiac, and it is also a fixed sign. So what is there to know about air signs? Air signs are people who love communication. They're people who get to feel most fulfilled when they are sharing ideas and communicating. So this definitely applies to an Aquarian. They love sharing ideas. They love sharing innovative ideas more particularly. They're big believers that humanity will advance in a more positive way, and that we all have a mission and a reason to be here. Fixed signs are signs that normally know themselves pretty well. They have a personality that they carry everywhere they go, and they stick to that personality. So they're not the type of people to change depending on their environment. They just stay faithfully themselves, because it is one of their mantras, almost you could say, is to be authentic and to be themselves and to not do things that are misrepresenting of that. Aquarius is ruled by the planet Saturn, and Saturn is the planet of discipline, it's the planet of structure. which is quite contradictory to the fact that it is an air sign, because air signs, they like to go from idea to idea, they like to change their state of mind a lot, but Saturn is someone who wants discipline, and because of that they have this conflicting personality inside of them, where they feel like they're an outcast. They always feel burdened by rules, by societal rules, by societal norms. They think that we can do better in the world, that we can free people from the difficulties of life, you could say. So they are burdened by the fact that they need structure, but they're also so free-spirited. And many Aquarians, because they feel like outcasts, they tend to embody a personality that's very, very specific. So if, let's say, they are an artist, they will be consumed by their art. They will breathe it, they will sleep it, they will do everything related to who they are, who they're representing themselves as, because they feel like that's how they will live the most authentic life. It's if they are just fully emerge into who they are all the time. One thing about Aquarius is that they're not very sentimental and they're not very emotional. So they are emotional, but they don't quite understand emotions. That's one thing they really struggle with. If you know an Aquarius, here's a good test how to know if they're a true Aquarius. You ask them how they feel, and the first 3 seconds they will go absolute blank. I promise you that. Probably even more if you're lucky that they answered you at all. Aquarius don't like to talk about how they feel. They have a hard time with it because they don't trust their feelings. Being an air sign means that your feelings are up and down a lot all the time, but you're also very intellectual and cerebral, and you try to understand why you're this way, but it just results in you accepting the fact that feelings are not to be trusted and that they cannot be really counted on, that they're very changeable. So they try to rely on factual things. So many people consider Aquarius to be quite a cold astrology sign because of that. They feel like they don't take the time to explain things. They don't they cut people off easily from their lives, and it's because Aquarians, they feel like they have a bigger purpose. Their ruling planet is Saturn, like I mentioned, and Saturn is a planet that if your astrology sign is affected by it, it will make you feel like you have a certain duty to fulfill. And because of that sense of duty, they're sometimes a little bit cold to their friends and close ones because they want to spend all their time trying and reaching those goals, and they believe that life has some kind of bigger sense to it. While they are extremely good at social settings, they are also very introverted, and they almost don't want to interact with people and consider it a waste of time. So for an Aquarius, what I would recommend that you get them, if you don't know them very well, if they work with you, for example, you should get them something that is very expressive of personality and functional at the same time. So what you could do is go into a kitchenware shop, or American Outfitters have a really cute, quirky little things you can buy for the home. So something for the home, something useful maybe, but not standard. So definitely unique, definitely quirky, maybe utensils with a really cute cartoon on the other side that they like. Or you can also get them plates that are really cool. They like to have things that are functional, but they want every single thing that they own to represent them to the core. So getting something that is useful on a day-to-day basis and also represents their quirkiness and shows that they're playful, that would be a good combination. If you know them a little bit better, not a lot better, but a little bit better, you could get them something to organize their collection. So Aquarians tend to have collections of some things. Like I'm an Aquarius and I have a collection of jewelry with gemstones. It's not necessarily a collection like I have to catch them all Pokemon. It's stuff that I like to have a lot of unnecessarily. So Aquarians, because they're a fixed sign, they like to have a very fixed identity. They like to to really determine who they are from an early age and stick to that. So they're likely to have a collection or two, and if you find out what collections they have, you can get them something to organize those collections. So for example, if they collect watches, you can give them a case for watches. If they collect jewelry, you can give them a case for jewelry. If they collect memorabilia from different countries, maybe you can give them a really beautiful box that can organize all these things. Something like that they would really appreciate. And then finally, if you know them really well, I would recommend that you get them something personalized. So get them their birth chart framed, or their constellation of their zodiac sign framed. You can also get them a mug that has a really funny scripture on it. They like to be goofy, they like to show that. I think those would be great suggestions for the Aquarians in your life. Last one, guys, I can do this. Okay. Pisces have a magical energy to them. They are highly, highly intuitive. Pisces' ruling planet is Neptune. It is the symbol of intuition and of dreams, and Pisces tend to be quite dreamy and quite in their own world, and they have this flow about them, like they have a deeper understanding of emotions and of other people's emotions, and they are slow and steady. They take their time. They're one of the calmer, more calm signs, and they're more peaceful as well. But they are kind of unpredictable too, because they are a mutable sign, a sign of change, and a sign of looking forward. So they do like to learn a lot of things. They always have a lot of different knowledge, and they can tell you a lot of different things you probably didn't know before. So they're quite resourceful. Pisces changes their behavior depending on whoever is around them. So they're a water sign, they're very changeable, but even more so than other signs because they're also a mutable sign. So they will really just change depending on their environment, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly what a Pisces is like, but they don't do it to manipulate you, they don't do it on purpose, they just naturally want to create a balance and peace amongst everyone, so they just kind of navigate everything to make it balanced. Because they can feel out the mood so well, they can change the atmosphere around them so that people also feel better. So they tend to like to uplift people and tell people that everything is going to be okay, and they're really positive and intuitive. Because of how intuitive they are though, they're also hopelessly romantic, and what that means is that the way they see life is that everything is going to work out, everything is going to be fine, there's always a way to fix things, there's always a way to change things. So they tend to make a lot of silly mistakes just because they rely on the fact that things will magically work out for them. So Pisces people are known to be into a more mystical world, which means you could get them more spiritual type of gifts. For Pisces, they are sentimental and they like the mystical world. Birthstone would actually be a pretty good gift for them. They would also really enjoy anything that has to do with music. So if you know their favorite artist and you can get a hold of some kind of valuable CD from that artist for them, then they would really appreciate that as well. You can also get them a dream journal because Pisces really enjoy dreams and meanings and what things symbolize. So a dream journal could be a nice way for them to start and recognizing maybe that they do have those desires. Because Pisces attributes a meaning to everything in life and they're very, very sentimental, I would say that the only gift that they wouldn't enjoy is if it wasn't on the right date or the right circumstances. So for them, a time and a day and a place can be very important. They pay attention to those things and they take them to heart. So if you forget to wish them happy birthday on their birthday, they might take it to heart. Even if you might not be able to give them the gift, but at least make sure that you wish them happy birthday.